The origin of the global pandemic COVID-19 was primarily narrowed down to China. As it happens, the first potential patients were observed in November last year in the Hubei province, with Wuhan as the epicenter for the spread of the virus to the home country and to the rest of the world. Laboratory tests show that SARS-CoV-2 belongs to beta coronavirus, highly identical genome to bat coronavirus, pointing to bat as the natural host. With its roots in China, the virus spread across the globe very quickly, hitting some countries with the mightiest blows. These countries include the United States, Italy, Iran, Spain, and South Korea. The virus is thought to spread mainly from person to person, between people who are in close contact with one another, or through respiratory droplets produced when an infected person coughs or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby or possibly be inhaled into the lungs. In this video, we shall look upon the economic aftermath of the virus and the possible outcomes on global economy. China's immediate response to the crisis would be very vital in shaping the future of the communist country. This would be a time of economic reform, and the Chinese leaders understand this fact. They are definitely not going to spare an opportunity to further expand their business, both within the country and globally. As China tries to balance imperatives between disease control, economic recovery, and population movement, the annual GDP growth is expected to slow down to between 5 and 5.5% for 2020. Investment sentiment is running high. The stock market surged due to expectations of stimulus policies and limited choices of investment. The number of investors in China's A-share market increased over 10 million in recent months. New business models are emerging. Offline-driven businesses begin to shift online, especially in education, entertainment, and retail. As such, the work-from-home culture is beginning to rise. The pandemic has shown how delicate our medical systems can be, thus emphasizing a greater need to spend more on healthcare. Large corporates are pondering on the need to introduce more automation to continue work in factories in times such as these. Fears of the novel coronavirus impact on global economy have rocked markets worldwide, with stock prices and bond yields plunging. Major economies around the world are releasing financial packages in order to support the citizens in this great pandemic. For example, the United States has sanctioned a $2 trillion package. Major economists around the world fear that economic implications could resemble to the Great Depression, which had devastating effects for both rich and poor countries. Personal income, tax revenue, profits dropped, while international trade fell by more than 50%. Unemployment in America rose to 23%, and in some countries rose as high as 33%. Cities around the globe were hit hard, especially those dependent on heavy industry. Construction was also virtually halted in many countries. Various governments have ordered suspension of air travel after detecting tourism as the largest reason for the widespread of this virus. Countries like India have also put a halt on domestic flights till the 14th of April. Experts fear that such bans are gonna have long-lasting impact on the travel industry. Social distancing requires us to stay indoors, thus leaving cars unused, thereby greatly impacting the industry. Automobile manufacturers like Ford and Rolls-Royce have cut their production to reassemble their factories to provide for the increasing demand of ventilators and other essential supplies for hospitals. Online retailers like Amazon and Flipkart are recruiting hundreds of thousands of new employees worldwide to keep their services and supply chains running. However, restaurants have taken a severe beating since the outbreak of the epidemic. By its extension, orders on Swiggy and Zomato have dropped by 60%. The COVID-19 pandemic is threatening lives and livelihoods across the world. Whether millions live or die depends on the decisions the world leaders take in the coming days. However, it seems that leaders of countries like South Korea, South Africa, and India are more concerned for their citizens than world powers like the US or Great Britain. US stocks posted a third week of losses in the past 4, capping a volatile stretch after the government reported big loss in jobs last month because of the coronavirus pandemic. A reduction in global economic activity has lowered the demand for oil, taking oil prices to multi-year lows. that happened even before a disagreement on production cuts between OPEC and its allies caused the latest plunge in oil price. Reports suggest that Brent oil could still drop to $10 a barrel and stay here in the second quarter. Theories suggest that COVID-19 would bring an economic tsunami across the world. Prices are escalating and the lockdowns across the various countries are devastatingly affecting both rich and poor. The investment sentiment is at its lowest, resulting in a large-scale destruction of stocks worldwide. All nations are working hand in hand to fight this danger to mankind, and researchers and doctors continue to give their best efforts to fight this pandemic. Death tolls are increasing every minute. Once this destruction stops, there will be major economic, social, and political reforms around the globe, thereby determining which nation would emerge as the next superpower.